Hello YouTube, welcome to RVdaydream. I want to talk about this nice big propane electric refrigerator, but there's things that you got to be aware of, and I think that you may run into a situation possibly that you could use a component like I'm going to install for this. So let's jump into it.
What have you been up to?
I've been riding on a daydream. So this is the propane electric refrigerator that we optioned in with our fifth wheel, our Rockwood fifth wheel, and it is large. Now we could have had a residential refrigerator that runs on just electric, but the thing is even with our solar and a pretty good battery, that residential refrigerator, the compressor that it runs off of, it will run down a battery relatively quick. Just the standard battery on the Rockwood, with the solar, even residential, it's only good for about 5 hours of traveling overall. That's why we opted in for the propane. Now, if we had the choice, we would have gone with a 12-volt compressor refrigerator, but that is a little bit smaller. The 12-volt compressor is, for the most part, a standard size RV refrigerator that runs off of 12-volt only, no propane. Ideally, that would have worked for us, but we did like the fact that we have this extra storage. It's ice cream and liquor. So there's a cooling fan. We hear this running and kicking on and off to keep everything circulated as far as air-wise, and it's the same down here too. You can see there's another, that's a fan that's up top there. So there is some power consumption that we're concerned with. But it is for the reason of keeping the air circulating throughout the refrigerator equally to keep everything cool, because it's kind of a cold air gravity refrigerator as far as what's inside here. Now, the thing that I'm going to kind of stress to you on some extent is it's all about cooling and evaporation, how these refrigerators work. And the only way that can happen is heating, which I know that don't make sense, but let's go talk about it a little bit. And I'm going to show you this product that was sent to us to try out that should help with problems in heavily heated areas, or just to help the refrigerator stay cooler without running as much power. So moving outside here, we're walking around to where I just was, but on the outside of the RV. And that's what these access panels are. This is the lower access panel to the refrigerator, and all the components that are behind there. Don't bother listening to that little ding ding. This is the back of a propane and electric. There you go. Here's a cord here. That's the electric part, refrigerator. And what it does is will heat up either through the propane here or a heating element that's a little bit further up. The ammonia that are in tubes, which I don't expect you to necessarily see this, but there are tubes there that the ammonia will evaporate, and as it evaporates, it cools and condenses and causes a cooling sensation for the refrigerator to run on. So the idea behind the fact that you're heating an area back here and stuff needs to evaporate to cool means that the heat is good, but only to a certain extent. You need to have air circulation going through, and in this case from down below here, which these are vents also, you can see this all vented here, from down below here up and out that vent up there. So this is where the problem starts, the vent up there. If you have a refrigerator that's on a slide, like in this case, you can't have a vent on top. Well, all the heat is going to the top. You want the heat to escape out the top. Well, this is the closest you can get to the top when you're working with an RV that has a refrigerator and a slide. Of course, you can't put a vent on the top, so they put it on the upper part of the outside wall of the slide, and they hope that that's enough. However, sometimes it isn't, and there needs to be some help, and that's to pull the cool air from the outside in here up and out and help that heat escape with it. And Beech, a company that I've been dealing with for a while now, we love them. They have now come out with a component that does just that, and it's very simple to install. So this is the box that it'll come in, and of course you're going to see the links down below for this. Please use those links. It helps support the channel, and everything from Beech so far has been top notch. So let me open this up and show you what it looks like, and go over the instructions and see what it's going to take to get this installed. Once you open the box, you slide out from one end this beautifully designed contraption. Now, I know you guys are going to say, oh, they're just computer fans. Well, basically they are. They do have an IP65 rating though, and they are much bigger than the traditional computer fans. My hands aren't small. You can see basically how much they encompass, these fans. And they're designed to be mounted up on that vent a little bit easier than you would have to do if you tried to do your own computer fans. Not only that, but this is the best part. It comes with a controller that allows you to set, let me flip this around, those fans to kick on at a temperature. Now you can manually override if you know it's going to be hot and you just want to run it all the time. That's one thing. Or if you just filled your refrigerator full of stuff, you know, you could do it that way. However, I think that the idea behind having a controller to run these fans instead of just them being on or off, you know, that works, because there has been times, obviously, that we don't need fans to be running. And these do run off of 12 volt. You don't have to have this plugged into an outlet. You don't have to be plugged into a park to run these. You can just plug them in or splice them into a 12 volt connection, which we'll show that in a little bit, and allow you to control the fan speed for the venting based on temperature, automatically or manually overriding. In addition to the fans, the controller, and of course all the wiring, you also get the hold down hardware or the mounting hardware. There's some 3M adhesive in here, and it gives you a few options to mount it, but you're going to see that the option's kind of nice the way that they have it set up. One of the things you're going to have to do is get on a ladder if you have this type of event, and make sure that you've got enough room for placement. You can see I have a kind of a false wall here to help with any kind of rain that may come in directly on this side and hit this, so that it doesn't hit the back side of the refrigerator. Now, you can use this vent or these fans on the type that I mentioned before that has the vent on top. You'll just be doing the installation down below. So it could be done down there to where it could draw potentially the hot air or circulate the air in general from up here and out, or you can make it to where it blows in. Now the thing is, I don't really care for it blowing in if you are blowing in on the flame that's down below. So I'm going to try to install them up here, but you're going to have to position them that makes sense. Like in our case, we have to be above this false board, you know, it's just a false wall, but it can't be so high that it's going to hit these mounting tabs whenever it's connected to the vents. And you got to have enough clearance that it can get kind of close to, like in this case, these fins. Give you these little brackets. Let me show you what they look like up close. Here, we'll try to get it with a white background. See how they have hooks? See how they have dividers? It's so they can hook with the divider in between it like that and secure the fan to the venting on, you know, 99% of these RVs have this kind of a vent door. They give you the tool and everything you need, of course, all the screws. And the thing is these are, you know, you can remove these if you have to make these fans blow in, which I don't necessarily recommend, but you could do that. Again, what I said about making sure it doesn't blow on the propane, you know, as far as making the fire get hotter or something. But yeah, anyways, you could reverse these fans if you wanted. The way that they're set up is to blow out though when you get them. If you need to reverse them, you can do two things. You can either, you know, remove the brackets, flip them, and put the brackets back on. I'm talking about these outer brackets. Or you can just reverse the wires. It's up to you. Reversing the wires may cause an issue though with the circuitry on this, so I think that mechanically that's what I would do. I'd probably physically switch this bracketry around. So what I'm going to do is try to position this to where these hooks line up and connect to, like I said, these crossbars, and also keep it kind of centered. I'm going to experiment and make sure that this clears everything before I start my wiring. I suggest you don't tighten the large brackets that are on the outside here. Don't tighten these big screws until you have the small ones lined up and all tightened, clipped into this. And you can see what it looks like from the outside. I mean, it's very unassuming. You can't tell that's in there. Got it all set up. Here's the wire for the fans, which this will just kind of get pushed in here whenever the fan mechanism goes in place. Now here's the probe. This is the temperature probe, and I've got it just a couple inches away from this heating coil here. Well, it's not necessarily the evaporator, but it does give us a good temperature reading. Now here's something that if you guys have a Rockwood, like in this case that's what it is, and you have one of those Norcold refrigerators, the big double ones that are gas and propane, check this out. They already had fans in here. They had two of them, two fans, two cooling fans. And that's what this is for. This is a fan shroud. This is to help those fans direct the air up and out whenever it gets really hot back here. So we're just going to have double the pleasure, double the fun, double mint, double fan, double something that rhymes with fun. I can set this temperature now to where the fans will kick on. Now I can manually do it. Here, we'll just show you manually. And those fans are going to kick on up there. Like right now they're running. I don't know if you can hear it. Let me see if I can get you up close. You can hear them running up here. And there's a substantial amount of air actually being blown out of here, which is, I'm shocked to tell you the truth, but there's a lot of hot air coming out of here. Not just from me. If I want to set it on automatic, it's on 90 degrees and they're not running because it's lower than 90 degrees. So what happens if I set it on 85? They just kicked back on. So it is either 85 degrees or lower up above. Now I'm sure there's a few degrees, you know, a couple of degrees one way or the other that they will shut off. So it could be that these things, when they're set on 85, depending on how the probe is positioned, it could be that, you know, once it gets to 83 degrees, 82 degrees, then the fans will shut off. Or it could be the other way. It could be that maybe you have set at 85 and it has to get to maybe 87, 88 before they kick back on again. So we're going to put them on 90 because the fans that are built into the RV, they were just running. And 90 degrees was kind of, I think that they shut off at 85. I don't know. We're going to have to try this out. The fact that this one already has fans is a plus. But we could be in a situation to where the sun hits this side, which it does in the morning. But, you know, in the middle of the summer, I might have to have all the fans running as possible just to keep it cool in there, or the heat to come out of there so this thing stays cool. So again, you can see the name here, Beech Lane. The links will be down below. Click the link, it'll take you right to this product. And not a difficult installation at all. Just have some wire ties. Make sure you have some sort of wire connectors. I just tied into the you know, positive and ground that's already here for the refrigerator, and it's just, you know, constant positive ground. Nice and easy. We're all finished. This is a good install. Hopefully this helps you guys out.